I want to do my best for myself, for the audience, and if in the audience there's a casting director or a promoter that might hire me for a gig, you know, in Australia, for example, of course I want to land the gig. I want to land the gig. I want you to hire me. And so it might feel like there's more pressure, but there isn't. You know, we're all going to die one day. Everything's all right. Hello, my name is Lampaert. I'm an actor and a comedian, and in this video I answer some questions that I often get asked about craft and technique, and I wrote my answers down because I do get distracted sometimes. How do you handle nerves before a performance? Well, firstly, I get nervous all the time, regardless of how big or small the performance is, regardless of whether it's on stage or in front of the camera. I do get full of nervousness, but now I embrace it because I understand it's my body preparing for battle. It's my body preparing to do something in front of a group of people that are watching me. Now there's a group of people that are watching me because they're in the audience, and sometimes in the audience there might be agents and bookers and casting directors, all of that. So sometimes the level might feel like more important than some other gigs. And with the camera, even though the audience, the crowd, the crew behind the camera are meant to be silent, they are still observing. And it's a different kind of observing, right? It's the minutiae. The camera picks up the smallest of details, and it's a different type of performance. And although, you know, we can cut and do another take, that's money. Like, I understand that, like, every time, you know, the longer it takes, the more money the crew are spending, the production are spending on the performance. So there's all these different variables of why, you know, there are levels of nervousness, if you like. But I understand now that I embrace it. I go, yes, okay, I'm nervous. That's okay, that's good. That means I care. I mean, if you stop being nervous, you know, I can't speak for every performer, but as far as I can tell, if I was to stop being nervous, it means that I stopped caring. And maybe that would help my performance. I don't know, you know, to be so comfortable. But I don't know, I don't think that sits right with me. I think that nervousness is part of the game. And so I embrace it. But when I first started, I hated it. I felt so uncomfortable, you know, just anxiety-ridden body. And yeah, I was often frightened to go on stage. But as soon as I stepped on stage and I got that first laugh, I felt good. And even if I didn't get the first laugh, I still felt quite comfortable and at home on stage. But I used to get really nervous. And one of the things that it would do was it would make me sort of lethargic, right? Like an hour or so before going on stage, before performing, I would feel really tired. Now I understand it was my body's sort of response to, you know, it was my body's preparation for something that was like a fight or flight sort of activity, right? Like, I understand that my body was essentially going, we're going to now just breathe, relax, because I'm going to need all this adrenaline when you go on stage. But I didn't know that at the time, so I used to get tired, which would panic me. So then I'd drink like a Red Bull or a coffee just to keep me awake. But then what would happen is, as soon as I stepped on stage, the adrenaline would sort of rush in, plus all that buzz from the energy drink, and I was erratic. And so, you know, I was like nervous, and I would fidget, and I wouldn't be able to sit still because I wouldn't know how to be still in preparation to face an audience. And other people, you know, colleagues, comedians, young comedians, open micers, because we were all new at the game, they didn't understand that, you know, we all have different ways of preparing for a performance. And so often they were like, you know, that's not, just calm down, you know, just calm down. Say that to someone that has anxiety, just calm down. And so I felt abnormal, or I felt like I wasn't doing it properly. And one day, a promoter called Brett Vincent lovely, lovely man who's helped many comedians sort of find their way. He took me under his wing a little bit at the beginning, and it was great. And one I told him about my nerves, and he said, "Oh, don't worry about that." And then he had an idea. He introduced me to Terry Alderton, who one weekend was performing at the Comedy Store. If you haven't seen Terry Alderton, you absolutely should, and I recommend you go see him live rather than on screen. On screen, you know, he's great, but live there is something magnetic about him. It's just like, I think that night I went to see him at the Comedy Store, he got a standing ovation. Like he's so good. Before going on stage in the green room, he's all over the place. And so that's how I was first introduced to him. I hadn't seen him perform yet, so I didn't know who he was, and he just saw, you know, just all over the place. And then he performs. It's just enchanting. And then he comes off stage and is actually just completely relaxed and normal. And that made me realize that there is no one way of handling our nerves. We're all different. In fact, I remember one comedian, I can't remember his name, big beard, dresses like he's in System of a Down. I think his opening line is "big issue." Big issue? You know, selling big issue. That only makes sense in the UK. But anyway, really funny guy as well. He was napping. I've seen him a couple of times just napping before a performance, which is actually what I do now, because now I understand, you know, my body will take care of itself in performance, because I now have 10 plus years of performing. So I know that I can take care of myself in battle, if you like. And so, yeah, there's no real one way of handling nerves before a performance. But now I know not to fight it, just to embrace it. Deep breaths, the confidence of a back catalogue of work. You know, I've done some gigs that were truly horrendous, both because I mishandled it and because the audience were just, some audience members, I don't know why they go to a comedy club, because it seems like they just want to either be babysat because they are horrendous little boys in men's bodies and they are there to just destroy the comedy night by their stupid heckles or whatever. Or sometimes, you know, I've done shows where like the fruit machine would still be on and someone would be playing on it loudly, so the noise would be interrupting the show. Like, I've done some horrendous gigs, and so knowing that I've done all these horrible gigs now means that I can sort of handle whatever comes my way. And that again helps the nerves, right? That the more you do something, the more you're like, I can do this. But yeah, I still get nervous, and I'm grateful for it. But yeah, breath work. What did I write here? Breath work, controlled inhales and exhales, bringing awareness to my body. Trust, know that I've done this for a long time, many hours in front of a variety of crowds, and I'm still here. I survived and always improving. And a sense of humour. Oh yeah, don't take life too seriously. You know, it's true that I want to do my best for myself, for the audience, and if in the audience there's a casting director or a promoter that might hire me for a gig, you know, in Australia, for example, of course I want to land the gig. I want to land the gig. I want you to hire me. And so it might feel like there's more pressure, but there isn't. You know, we're all going to die one day. Everything's all right. Life is good. You know, bit of gratitude. You know, I get to perform. How cool is that? So yeah, don't take life too seriously. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope that was useful. Maybe if you're like learning about your own nerves. Okay, see you later. Thank you for watching the video. And if you are going to the Edinburgh Festival in 2026, then come and check out my show 0-1. If not, I will be taking it on tour, hopefully in the UK, in Europe, and the world, dare I say. And if you're watching this way into the future, I mean, hello, isn't this amazing? Hello, maybe I'm alive, maybe I'm dead, I don't know. But if I am alive, then I'm probably still doing stuff creatively. And so, yeah, hello, subscribe, and maybe I'll see you. Maybe we'll never meet. Isn't it amazing? Oh, life is amazing.